success may not be what people conventionally think success is. So it may not really be, a winner takes all kind of situation.
The criteria that I look for in team members is an ability to work in a complementary fashion, because every part can deal with a different facet. For example, one does the presentation in court, one does the research, one does the backup in terms of attending court for the routine functions of case management and so on and so forth. And then if you can coordinate in a cohesive manner, you'll find that the total is greater than the sum of the parts. Well, my most important role is coordination. First, providing direction right from the outset, a discussion, listening, ensuring that you listen as you develop that coordinative function, and then ensuring that tasks are set for each in this aspect of coordination, that they are then carried to fruition.
Every good advocate that you see in court would have a team of people who have poured through data, evidence, information, done the research work for you in order to let you shine in that 1 or 2 hours that you are shining for. So my strategy is always to get a good team and to make sure that work is properly delegated to all of them so that they can do their own parts and help you look good. But again, like I said, never forget to acknowledge them and never forget that you are only here because they helped you to become who you are.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. When you teach your team the how and why something is done, they will naturally remember it the next time instead of instructing them, you should do this, this, this. And also, I think it is important to know the strengths of your team member and to be able to harness on their strengths. So when they're doing something that they're good at, naturally, they will be happy about it, and naturally, they will do well.
So what is most important when managing a team? It's good to be able to accept diverse viewpoints. So just because someone tells you something that you don't quite like or understand, it's important to just chew on it and see whether there's something that you can take away from it. And it's also important to be able to deliver difficult and maybe unpleasant messages with the right degree of firmness and conviction, but at the same time you don't want to cripple the team member that you are delivering this to.
Empathy, it's something that we should always bear in mind and always have, EQ and all these things. So I believe you should always know, whether it's your secretaries, whether it's your clerks, whether it's your orderly, whether it's your lawyers, knowing what they actually think and what they feel. In Sabah, when you want to do something, we are always not on the same level playing field as what you have in, for example, in West Malaysia, Klang Valley, like we was talking about earlier. Internet connection is something that is unreliable, and because of that, there are a lot of things that we wish we could do more of. For example, to have more Zoom meetings, more virtual meetings, and digitize a lot of things. However, how do you do that when your electricity is not that stable? So what we should be doing is developing our own solutions.
It's important to make the team realize what are the assets of advocacy that we want to really advance. Winning or losing is one aspect, but it's very important to develop an argument that attaches to the reasoning, even if you lose the case. I think success is in having the judges, especially at the higher level, federal court and so on, pay attention to your arguments, which means they treat your arguments with the seriousness with which you have developed those arguments. Now that's very important, because even if they have to turn you down because it is something that you have stretched outside of the legal precedent, but by listening and accepting that that's a potential reason that could have been developed, then it paves the way for new law to develop.
So success may not be what people conventionally think success is. It could be people walking away, not getting anything, but they can move on with their lives. So a successful mediation could also involve both sides splitting the contested amount of money in the different portions, so that each side gets something. So it may not really be, a winner takes all kind of situation.
For me, I know I've done a good job, win or lose, like you said, when my client comes up to me and looks me in the eye and says, thank you. I've won many times where they do say that, and I've also lost many times where they also say that. Because when you've lost, if they understood the case right from the start, remember I said about listening to your clients, you've explained it to them in a way they can understand. You've communicated with them all the way throughout the process. They believe you. They believe in the work that you've done. You can lose that case. They will not be disappointed because you were honest with them right from the start. You didn't promise them the sky, moon and earth and tell them sure guarantee win, which unfortunately some lawyers actually do, right, in order to hook them in. The worst thing that can happen is a client has got no idea why they won or lost. And of course, it goes without saying, those you do win the cases for, again, they knew why they were winning and they look you in the eyes and say thank you. That is priceless, and that is why I'm in law, because you actually can see a face, someone who can look at you and thank you from the bottom of their hearts for the job that you've done.
I think the most important feature in managing a team will elicit different responses from different individuals. But the most important answer to me is pay attention to the people, because it's all about people. The people who work with you, the people who work for you, and how can you sustain powerful project team who have a winning mentality and yet at the same time have the understanding of the strengths as well as weaknesses of each other.
Form real relationships with the people that you work with. You can form that winning team we were talking about earlier on, and I believe that is something which is probably very, very important.